I'll start my conversation with Major Mohammed Ali Shah. Are all these steps that are being taken in a fast-paced manner by the Government of India in the last 24 hours being able to assuage the communities, whether it is the tribals of Kuki or whether it is the Meitei community? Have these efforts been able to assuage them, to be able to allow for a sustained ceasefire in the state?
Megha, that's a very, very good question. You know, the government is doing the best. Whatever is within their means and the limits, they're doing the best. And recently they've announced a 101.75 crore package for the aid of the displaced Manipuri, the people who have fled from Manipur. Obviously, I mean, they've gone to Mizoram and other neighboring states. So it's never enough. I mean, it is never enough. Of course, I mean, you'd want much more. And I'll equate it with another example where, unfortunately, in the 90s, the Kashmiri Pandits were displaced. And it was very, very unfortunate. It was very, very sad. And this thing about violence, it will not lead anywhere. It will not lead anywhere. In fact, the package that they've announced, it is within their means. It is a large money, but maybe someone from there might feel it might be little. But see, that's always there. But the very fact is, the government has done their effort. They're doing all that they can, the best that they can. They are themselves concerned, like the way you are concerned. Everyone is concerned. So we are all very, very concerned about it. The very fact is, there have been minor incidents of violence, yes. I mean, it hasn't been complete peace in the last 48 hours as it is being reported. There have been minor cases, like for example, 2 days back there was a case of a 7-year-old child. His mother was Kuki, his mother was Meitei, but a Christian, sorry. His father was Kuki, and they were accompanied by their aunt Lydia, who was also a Meitei Christian. And the ambulance was, it was really, really bad and sad. So these kind of violence are being reported. I hope there is peace in that state, a beautiful land like Manipur, where you get such beautiful people, such floating islands, Lake Loktak. I mean, so the government's efforts are okay, they are fine, they are doing their best, but too many people, too many families have escaped from Manipur right now. So they need to...
Take your mind back what Major Ali was beautifully bringing out. I must compliment the officer. He spoke so well.
Major Mohammed Ali Shah, now, do you think this is going to be a sustained effort? This is not going to be an effort by the central government just for a week or 10 days with the Union Home Minister visiting, with the Assam Chief Minister visiting, but this is an initiation into a long-drawn process to build a peace resolution in the state.
Right, Megha. Megha, I think it's been very, very well thought out in a very crystal crisp way by General Sudhakarji. I think the way he spoke his mind, the way he spoke about his analysis and his view of the situation, I think it's bang on the target completely, you know, Megha. Yes, Megha, at the same time, I would say the Assam Rifles is doing their bit even much before this relief package was announced. The Assam Rifles has set up relief camps, they have medical camps, they have... I'm told the Director General of Assam Rifles, Lieutenant Pradeep Nair, has been literally camping in Manipur. He is there amidst the crisis. And Assam Rifles is a very, very good fighting force. But they are doing social service over there at the moment because the people over there who have been displaced, who have been victimized, they need that. It's irrespective of the community. Totally impartial, totally imbalanced. But at the same time, totally balanced, I would say. At the same time, there are protests over there, like for example, the Meera Pabais. Meera Pabais are the mighty women, the mothers. They come out at night with the mashal, with torches in the hands, and they come out in hordes. I have dealt with them personally. I know how difficult it can get when they do a lot of good work as well, social work, but they're very opinionated. So, but at the same time, there have been protests that, okay, I was shocked when I saw a few Meera Pabais holding a placard where it said, "Go back, Assam Rifles." Why? I mean, these people are actually doing a great job. They're doing yeoman service. So the fact is the aid that they are getting from the government, from the Assam Rifles, from the army. I'll give you a small example, Megha. Because just today afternoon, I was interviewing a very fine, very proud person from Manipur. And that person said, "Oh, this was an army, this thing, something. I said, "No, excuse me, that was an army." "No, actually, no, it cannot be army, you're right. but actually we relate everyone in uniform who has a gun to army. It can be, we don't know what a paramilitary is, we don't know what the police is, we relate anybody in fatigue with a gun to be military, to be army. So that is the general opinion. So that is the reason I analyzed there why, unfortunately, like in 2003, unfortunately, the alleged Manorama Devi rape case happened. In 2005, I was there. Just in that it had not cooled down. But again, let me tell you, when my local villager friends over there, I was very fast at picking up and making friends and picking up the language. So my local friends, when they saw me in uniform with my AK-47 and my ammunition, everything, they said, after seeing a soldier like you and your troops, my troops they got very clear instructions that we got to be very polite with the villagers. In case we are searching anything, we have to tell them it's for their own personal security. So they said our perception about the military changed completely, and we felt the military is here to protect us, not to intimidate us. Earlier we would feel intimidated by them. So yes, I would say, as General Sakarji rightly said, and I said earlier as well, it's never enough. No matter what you do, it would never be enough because the wounds are too deep from both the communities. And as again General Sakarji pointed out, the mistrust between both the communities, and they're looking up to the forces, to the security forces, because they feel they were not protected enough. Yeah. Whereas, let me tell you, the army and the Assam Rifles is totally unbiased, totally neutral. They will protect wherever, they will fire upon, they will not hesitate to fire upon arsoners if they have to. So it can be any soldier from any caste, community. There was a list of, someone floated on social media, a list of Maite officers. It was very disheartening to me. I took it as a personal offense because in the army, we do not know who's Maite, who's Kuki, who's Muslim, who's Sikh, who's Christian, who's Hindu. We only know one thing, that our religion is the Indian Army. We fire upon the arsoners. We will control anybody who has come to create violence, anybody who's come to create disturbance. It can be from irrespective of the soldiers' community or not the community. That's okay. But ultimately, so yes, I would say the efforts are on. The efforts are totally on, and especially I would comment, especially we all speak about the violence happening in Manipur and such things. No one is speaking about the good work actually the Assam Rifles is actually doing in Manipur.
Absolutely. Okay, so how do we rebuild the trust deficit, the big question? Major Mohammed Ali Shah, now the people of Manipur, of whichever tribe or community they may belong to, have come out and said that they do not have trust in the state government, they do not have trust in the chief minister, they do not have trust in the state police. Now, how long can the services of the CRPF, of the CAPF, of the Assam Rifles can be continued, can be prolonged in this area? There will have to be some time after a period of maybe, I don't know, there are already at least a month that has been passed. How many more months are you going to put the CAPF, the CRPF, the Assam Rifles to take control and to maintain this peaceful situation that currently Manipur finds itself in? And there has also been a demand for the Kuki tribes to allow for president's rule to prevail, to allow to then displace the chief minister of Manipur, Biren Singh, because they do not trust him. So as soon as there are going to be the central forces that are going to be removed from the position, is Manipur going to come back into its state of conflict that it was left to earlier, a month ago?
Okay, Megha, firstly, I always had this view that Northeast, because having my personal love for Northeast and the affiliation, about the affiliation I've had for Northeast for a very, very long time. Now, I always felt that the Northeast has, the people over there, they have always had a grouse that the central government, irrespective of the government of the day, I'm not getting into the BJP or Congress part of it, the government in power, in ruling government, always kind of ignored, neglected Northeast quite a bit. And it's a fact. It's a fact. You ask a person from Northeast, from Manipur or Nagaland or Mizoram, you meet them at the airport and you ask them, where are you from? They will never tell you, I'm from Manipur or I'm from Nagaland or from Mizoram. First thing they'll answer is, I'm from the Northeast part of India, because they presume that you probably, not you, anyone, would not be knowing about where Manipur is or where Nagaland is. It's that bad. So that trust factor is right there. Secondly, unfortunately, it really hurts my heart to say it's a fact. It's a reality. Reality pinches very hard. I've seen it, and I have picked up a fight with somebody, verbal fight, a peaceful fight in a way, I would say, though fights are never peaceful. In Janpat, there's a market in here. Somebody from Northeast was being called by a particular slang. I wouldn't want to use that slang. And I was the one who intervened. I went and told that person who belonged to Northeast India, I told the person who belonged to North India, don't call that person from Northeast with that name. Please, for heaven's sake. They are our own people, and that is not the way. So this kind of an indifference, firstly, it comes in. So thirdly, when this kind of indifference comes in, I will not vouch. I will tell you in a court. Let me not talk about the army. I'll talk about the police thana. In a court where the weapons are deposited, thousands of weapons go missing, and I've personally worked together with the Manipur police commandos. They are a very good fighting force, and I'm surprised. I'm generally very surprised what's gone wrong. How come so many weapons go missing? So I am afraid I would reserve my comments on how good a job they're doing. But yes, the people over there they have lost faith in the state police. It's a fact. But they still very much, and rightly so, they trust the army, they trust the Assam Rifles. And because the Assam Rifles are genuinely the friends of the hill people, the sentinels of the Northeast. Assam Rifles ke sipahi desh ke humne shaan badai. And they stay in Northeast throughout. So how long? Well, Manipur always. And I have served in JNK, I have served in Manipur. Let me tell you the state of affairs I found in Manipur. I found it hotter in terms of insurgency more than JNK. But it wasn't being reported fairly that time. We do not know. People did not know that there was insurgency happening in Manipur. I was actually very surprised when I heard somebody talking about there's an underground faction from Manipur called PLA. That's the People Liberation Army. A very powerful underground faction in Manipur. Somebody was talking about PLA and someone said, oh, PLA from China. PLA from China is different.
Yeah.
PLA from Manipur is different. I'm like, come on, have a heart. That's a different PLA you're talking about. So the very fact is today at least people know what Manipur, but for a sad thing, I wish it was for a much happier occasion. They know what Maiti is, they know what Kuki is, they know what Naga is, they know what Thankul is, they know what Baite is, they know what Pangal is, they know what... So these tribes were not heard of earlier. Unfortunately, they should have been heard of. People should have been knowing about them earlier. But no, they did not know. Because fighting insurgency in Manipur was very, very different than fighting insurgency in JNK. And in fact, again, parts of...
those are two different states, two different territories, two different borders to take care of. Important point raised.